Hello, this is News at 10 on TV3, our last bulletin for the day. I'm Stephen NT and we're streaming live on our Facebook page and on 3news.com. We're broadcasting from the News Hub at Adisawe, Kandat. Let's start with a summary of the major news highlights of the day. The Attorney General has leveled 29 charges against former Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Ernest Thompson, and 4 others over the $72 million operating business suite contract awarded to Perfect Business Solutions. The High Court granted all 5 accused persons self-recognizance bail after pleading not guilty to all the counts. On the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council has petitioned President Akufo-Addo over the August 7 to September 4 closed fishing season directive. The council says a closed season will be a fruitless effort if illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing practices are not tackled head on. And 2 major unions have implored the newly appointed EC nominee boss, Jean Mensah, to exhibit objectivity and wisdom in the discharge of her duties. The University Teachers of Ghana, UTAG, and the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, noted her appointment is a boost to Ghana's democratic credentials. And the National Vocational Training Institute has asked government to extend the senior higher education to cover technical and vocational training. Executive Director Maoshi Nudako Awuti says this will not only encourage interest but expand the skilled manpower base for accelerated development. And brother of the late President Atta Mills, Samuel Atta Mills, has expressed regret over the resting place of the former president, which he said is in disarray. He was sad no government official was available at the Asumdwe Park to even say a word or prayer to commemorate 6 years of his demise. Those were our major news highlights. Remember, you can hear me on 3FM 92.7 and we're streaming live on Facebook and on 3news.com. Let's start with our very first story, where government will, from next academic year, which begins from September 2018, implement a dual intake system for new entrants into the country's public senior high schools. Meanwhile, a Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, says the new system is only a stopgap measure for government to vigorously improve infrastructure in second cycle institutions.
We are not the first country to use it, and that is going to really work to the benefit of our schools, because we'll be able to decongest and at the same time increase enrollment. That's the magic of it. Some people don't understand. How can you talk about decongestion and at the same time we're increasing enrollment? The way it works is very simple. When you have 3,000 school population currently, you can work it out in such a way that at any point in time in next year, you will not have more than 2,700 students in the school at one particular time. Because you have Form 3 students will be on their regular term. We are not changing it. They have WASI ahead of them. Form 2 will begin the calendar system. And Form 1 students also, the semester calendar system. The semester allows you the opportunity to work 16 weeks, and then you take your vacation another 16 weeks. As a result, you are able to get another track of students filling in the spots and aligning this in such a way that you can increase enrollment. So that is why we say there's a double track for Form 1, and the Form 2 will be a single track. They will go straight. But in a calendar, the seniors will do the term so that we don't interrupt the WASI. As I speak with you, we are securing $500 million to complete all Get Fund uncompleted buildings that are the 70% completion level. So within a short period of time, we'll build so many schools, and then calendars will revert to the regular. That's what is done in other countries, where they do about 10 years, they build all their schools, they revert to the regular. But this is a system that you put in place to ensure that you don't leave any qualified child behind. If you can implement a system that can only use existing facilities and reduce congestion in schools that can use only existing facilities and increase enrollment to all the desirable category A and B schools so that you have more schools in Wesley Girls and Achimota and in Fansipim. And at the same time, it doesn't bring about huge additional cost. Why don't we do it? People talk about additional cost from teachers. No, we'll still have hired them if they are regular calendar. Because if you bring in more students, you have to bring in more teachers. So it's not because of the double track that teachers, we are hiring more teachers. We are hiring more teachers because of the increase in enrollment.
Let's speak with the president of the National Council of Parent Teacher Association, Alexander Yao Danso. Good evening, sir. Thank you extremely. Now, the National Council of Parent Teacher Association, I want to know whether you were consulted prior to the announcement of this double intake.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your viewers and listeners. Yes, I would say yes, we were consulted. Unlike previously, this time around we were consulted. And then they explained to us how the system is going to work. And I must confess, some of us were happy with it. We need to do some advocacy, sensitize our people for them to also know exactly what is going to happen. And like the Deputy Minister said, no child is going to be left out. And you realize that when the first batch goes, that's the A goes, and the Bs will be at home, and when the Bs come, the Bs will also go. So it's going to be a rotational, and there's not going to be congestion, in the classrooms. And at the same time, the schools will be running all right. But I feel that what we have to do now is for parents to embrace the idea and also to monitor and show interest in their war's education, right? Because the child will be coming home. And in between, understand we're told they're going to have extra classes, of which a teacher will be paid 50 Ghana cedis per student. That will be given to the teachers who will be doing the. So when you are there, when you are in the home, in the house, I think you can take advantage of that and then attend that classes. I will also encourage and I appeal to the government and also our MPs to revive the community libraries so that the children will not be idling about. They should also be visiting and patronizing the community libraries, and that will even enhance their learning, I think. Right. So in actual fact, it's a good idea.
Right.
Secondly, I think it's going to create employment opportunity for graduate teachers who are not employed. And so at the same time, it's like killing two birds with a stone.
You sound very optimistic, which is very good. I mean, we need people who believe in the policy before it can work. But I want to know the exact discussions you had when you met with the Education Service Council earlier today.
Oh, just today, not all of the council members were, met with them. I had an interaction with the GS Council Chairman. We have had interactions already. Things have been explained to us. And then we haven't been left out. I must confess, we haven't been left out. And I'm glad to, and I'm happy to state that, unlike previously, at every stage, they consult us. We share ideas together. We've been asking pertinent questions that bothers the minds of some of the parents. Because
so did you ask questions about the possibility of pressures on the existing infrastructure? For example, if the first stream goes, immediately they're on vacation, the second stream goes, there won't be in between any break periods for maintenance works to be conducted in these schools. Does it occur to you?
My brother, when we talk of maintenance culture in Ghana here, when the building is new, how do you maintain it? I mean, we are going to, the government will even have, and the PTs, like, as I was saying it this morning in one of the networks, I told them that if I can confidently, hit my chest and say that most of the infrastructures in some of the senior high schools, if not all, were being built by the parents. We will continue to do exactly that. While government is also preparing, So we'll complement the effort.
I get the impression from your end that you feel that the existing infrastructure in senior high schools are up to scratch and at least for the next 7 years will not require maintenance?
Oh, well, I'm not saying that. Well, maintenance, even human beings, at times you have to take some packages and all that. You will actually do some maintenance. But what I'm saying is that it will be a major maintenance that will have to be undertaken.
Okay.
We'll have to undertake. Yes, currently, the government will have to, like the minister said, yes, enough time will be given for putting up infrastructure, new ones. And PTA will also be complemented. And so by the time, I'm quite certain, quite optimistic that by in 4 years' time, some years to come, they will finish with the infrastructure.
Right.
I will say we, because parents are also going to assist so that we'll revert to the normal shift.
Right. We're grateful for your time, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to us. This is News at 10. We're live from the News Hub at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. We have more news for you. Welcome back. Now, the minority in Parliament has accused some government appointees of engaging in illegal mining and are being shielded by the president. Spokesperson on Mines and Energy, Adam Mutawakilo, says the minority has evidence of the illegal activity, which was confirmed by the chief of Jakobu in the Ashanti region.
The MP said the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, Kwejo Owusu-Efriye, popularly known as Sir John, and MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman, Chairman Wontumi, are engaging in illegal mining.
Before I could come out to meet you, the Chief of Jakobu came out clearly that the CEO of Forestry Commission and Wontumi, that is the Chairman of MPP in Ashanti region, are engaged in Galamsey. And let me say it frankly, it's a big fact. And it's a slap on the face of the president. I believe that the president is probably doing a cover-up for these people. Because the information we, the minority, have is that the CEO of Forestry Commission, Sir John, uses his office to put signposts that certain areas are marked for reclamation. But in actual fact, there is serious galamsey going on in. This is just to let the military not to invade in those places.
The Damango MP said the minority has done its own investigations and would soon show the evidence.
I'm putting it, we the minority are putting it on record, that Mr. President, you are shielding your appointees from engaging in galamsey. Sit up, investigate, and work. All forestry areas that are marked as reclamation zone should be properly investigated. And I want to urge Operation Vanguard, irrespective of these threats from them, go ahead, arrest them, because Mother Ghana is supreme. Have a respect to Jakobu, the excavators, their numbers, the pickups, the number of arms that was seized, the type of work that was going on. And we are still verifying on. That is why I said we are verified. But the chief came out and want to let Ghanaians know that whatever the chief of Jakobu said is the fact.
Let's get on to the telephone lines and speak with Edward Kwesi Kwoku, who is aide to the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the governing New Patriotic Party, Bernard Nchibosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. Good evening, sir. Thank you. We're grateful for your time. Now, according to the NDC spokesperson on Mines and Energy, Adam Mutawakilu, your boss is engaged in galamsey. Is this the case?
Well, good evening, my brother, to your listeners as well. I think that today I'm highly, highly disappointed in the minority NDC because I want to believe that looking at the pedigree of Honorable Mutawakilu and the NDC as a whole, I was expecting something more substantial and something more evidential from them. You realize that in his presentation, first of all said that their information, the information he never gave a source, and later he said that their investigations. The investigations, he never gave the outcome of the investigation and said they are still investigating. It's quite unfortunate that the NDC, will actually rely on a mere allegation from a chief that we consider to be a surrogate of the NDC. Now, why do I describe the chief, the Jacobu chief, as a surrogate of the NDC? Now, the allegation started on the fact that the Amansa Traditional Council,
so
Mr.
Kwaku, let's slow down. Mr. Kwaku, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So let's put on record. So your boss is not engaged in Galamsey. That's to start with.
Not at all. Not at all. And indeed, let me just put on record that since 2013, Chairman Wontumi, when his mining company was destroyed by the then Interministerial Task Force, upon which he has sued the government of Ghana, the matter of which is still pending, he has never done any mining in this country, whether directly or indirectly. And therefore, it's unfortunate that the NDC minority could hold a press conference and without putting out any evidence or any, thing to buttress their point, will come out to make such an allegation. It's totally baseless.
But
and I think
you've also just made allegations that the Jacobu chief is a surrogate of the NDC. This is also an allegation. You are unable to prove.
It's founded on the basis that is what I was coming to. My allegation is founded on the basis that the Omanhene of the Amansa traditional area, which is the Bekwai Omanhene, this morning has spoken to a lot of media houses debunking the allegation, saying that none of the chiefs at the meeting with the chieftaincy minister did make such allegation against Chairman Wontumi or Sir John. So the question is, the Jacobu chief, who is a subject of the Bekwai, where is he getting his fact from for him to make the allegation? When the whole of Omanhene, who happens to be the chairman of the Traditional Council, has debunked the allegation. That is the reason why I'm telling you that the Jacobu chief perhaps is also doing the bidding of the NDC, and therefore is a surrogate of the NDC.
So you think there must be a motive behind making such allegations?
Oh, I believe the motive has always been there. It has been clear. From time immemorial, ever since even the NPP took over, the NDC have always wanted to tag Chairman Wontumi as a Galamsey king. In fact, there have been several media reports some years back when they tagged him as Galamsey king. But let me put on record that Chairman Wontumi has never done Galamsey. All those days when Chairman Wontumi was doing mining, he had acquired his licensing from the government of Ghana, and that forms the basis why he had the courage to go to court to challenge the government of Ghana for destroying his company. The case of which I said is still pending, and therefore I wouldn't go into the merits of that matter.
So are you willing to take legal action to compel Mutawakilu, for example, or the minority to bring that evidence, failing which you have the right to take any other measures?
I do not think that Chairman Wontumi will be ready to play to the gallery of the NDC, because the strategy of the NDC, as we have noticed, is just to, actually make sure that they actually put Chairman Wontumi off track and then to distract him. Chairman Wontumi is too focused, he's too serious, he is a politician, and his major objective is to make sure that he campaigns for the MPP, for the party to continue to stay in power. I don't think he has the time of the NDC, because every Ghanaian has seen that the NDC did not come out with any evidence to buttress the allegation, and therefore Chairman Wontumi just treats it with just an ordinary, allegation which should be allowed to pass.
But you just mentioned the very important aspect of this whole discussion, that Chairman Wontumi used to be engaged in mining. I want to know whether he still owns concessions for which there might be some basis for the NDC perhaps starting these allegations in the first place.
No, my brother, those days when Chairman Wontumi was having a lot of mining company, he had a lot of concessions. But like I said, he's no longer mining any of them.
So he doesn't own concessions anymore?
And even the area in question, the Jacobu area, Chairman Wontumi doesn't have any mining concession in Jacobu. He doesn't. And so where came from that allegation? And you realize that Honorable Mutawakilu, in his presentation, did mention a certain company. Today, I challenged him on one of the media platforms that have the NDC done their background check to be able to connect Chairman Wontumi to the company in any way, to say that maybe you have found that Chairman Wontumi is a shareholder or a director of that company. He said no. So where lies their fact and where is the evidence? It's just a mere allegation because they think Chairman Wontumi is popular, so tag him and then you make news. It's quite unfortunate coming from the opposition NDC.
Are you going to take, is Chairman Wontumi going to take any legal action?
I've already explained to you, my brother. Chairman Odun to me is too much of a serious politician. He doesn't have time for these, flimsy allegations. He wouldn't mind them at all.
So these allegations are flimsy, but
it
borders on his integrity as a member of as a chairman of the ruling party and his direct linkage with government. This is an important matter. So if you're dismissing it totally without...
My brother, what was even more important and serious when Nanado himself, who is the president of this country, was sometimes even tagged with drugs. Did he mind anybody? Today he's the president of the country. Right. You see, sometimes when you have a focus and you know what you are doing, you should be focused. And sometimes the most important is that Ghanaians have seen that there's no iota of truth in this allegation, especially so when the NDC could not come out with any serious evidence to buttress the allegation.
Right.
But he's moving on. He doesn't have time for the NDC.
We're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. I wish you the very best. Let's move on now from that. The Attorney General has leveled 29 charges against former Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Ernest Thompson, and 4 others over the $72 million operating business suite contract awarded to Perfect Business Solutions. The High Court granted all 5 accused persons self-recognizance bail after pleading not guilty to all the counts.
The 4 others are former head of IT department Caleb Kweku Afaglo, former OBS project manager John Hagen Mensah, and Juliet Hassana Kramer of IT company Perfect Business Systems, as well as Peter Haibor, the former general counsel of SNIT. The charges include conspiracy to willfully cause financial loss to the state, willfully causing financial loss to the state, defrauding by false pretense, contravention of Public Procurement Act, possession of forged document, authoring forged document, among others. In court on Tuesday, when the 29 counts were read to the 5 accused persons, they all pleaded not guilty. The former head of IT department, Caleb Afaglo, who was appointed in 2015, is alleged not to hold the right qualifications, hence charged with possession of forged document and authoring forged document. He was earlier indicted by the management of the trust over suspicions that his bachelor's, master's and doctorate degrees were fake. The initial cost of the operating business suite OBS software procured to automate processes at SNIT was $34 million when it was awarded to Perfect Business Systems and Silver Lake Consortium in 2012. But this later shot up to $72 million. Attorney General Gloria Ekufu told the court these individuals played several roles leading to a financial loss to the state. Gloria Ekufu spoke to the media after proceedings.
They have been arraigned for causing these losses, and that would include conspiracy, several heads of causing financial loss to the state. That will include offenses contrary to the Procurement Act. And for the 4th accused person, he also gained admission at SNIT based on qualifications and certificates in his possession, which he didn't really possess.
The case has been adjourned to October 17, thus after the 2017-2018 legal break.
And that's our wrap up with News at 10. On behalf of the crew, good night. There is more news at 3news.com. Thanks for your time.